Hey guys, and welcome to Devlog 8 of the Animal Behavior Kit. Today's going to be a pretty short video, but I did want to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on for the past week and a half or so. A lot of the stuff isn't really exciting to show you, but there is something that I do want to show you. So the first thing I've been doing is converting a lot of the code that has been living inside the different animal classes into separate components. And you can see them here. So for example, there's a component now that you drop into your animal that allows you to tame the animal, right? And that's called BP comp companion. So all of the variables, all of the events, everything that links up to the behavior tree, everything is now in one component, as opposed to having it in the master class, for example, in this deer. Same thing for the looking for mate. This is the one for reproducing, right? Natural death, which you've seen before. The actual needs system, which is when the animal gets thirsty or hungry, I put that in a component as well. This was pretty messy because it had code all over the place in parent classes, child classes, and everywhere. So I condensed everything down here. And you've seen the population control and the spawn load in previous videos, right? The idea here is that you will create your own custom classes for animals and add the components as you need them. If your game never needs or doesn't want the need system, you don't care about the animals going to drink water or whatever, then you don't have to have that code, polluting your class, right? It's a lot easier to just take it out. Or if you don't want to be, you don't want the ability to have the animal be tamed, then you don't have to have the companion component. Or obviously you can mix and match. Maybe in your game, some animals you can tame, which those animals will have the component and some don't. So there's really nothing else to show here. The behavior is pretty much the same, right? If I click play here and I'm going to try to tame this guy, I'm just going to throw a little bait there. You can see, press E to tame. I'm going to name him, and now he's just following me around. It's exactly the same functionality, but now all of this is operating from the actor component, which is way nicer than the previous way. If I ask the guy to go somewhere in the specific location, you'll see that this little thing appears. And if you attack an animal now, this is something I did add. It adds this little widget, which is a green arrow. And you can see there, every animal has that now on top of his name, see? And the cool thing is this is screen based. It's on screen space, so even if you have obstacles anywhere, you'll still be able to see it. So in other words, say you tag an animal or an NPC and the NPC runs away and goes around a corner and you can't physically see them, you'll still be able to see the arrow because this is on screen space. And if I recall the animal to come back, then the marker leaves. The way I had it before was similar to the way World of Warcraft had it, which is like a little highlight on the floor, a red highlight. And that worked fine for ground animals, but I was thinking, well, in the future, I want you to be able to target fish or birds. And obviously, imagine you target a bird and then you have this little highlight on the floor. There's no floor, right? It's going to be at the bottom of the animal. So that doesn't work. So the little arrow works for any kind of animal. And because it is a widget, it makes it way nicer. So that's just a very small improvement. And like I said, I'm not going to go through all of the functionality. In this case, you see that the animal here has the component companion, and the options are pretty much the same. Every component now can be activated or deactivated at will. So if you don't want this component to be activated, you just disable it, right? And you can actually have custom code later to activate or deactivate certain components in your game. Same thing, you have the eating time, and then now you have the companion max speed and acceleration, which is different from where the animal is. Sometimes even if the animal's slow, you want the animal to keep up with you, right? So then you can adjust its acceleration and max speed accordingly. So that's cool. There have been some improvements to the needs system. Again, I've modularized the needs system, and you can activate it or deactivate it here. You can show the HUD or not. And now hunger and thirst are two separate components or two separate places. And you can actually individually activate or deactivate a specific part, right? So in this case, if I were to activate this component, only hunger would be active, but thirst would be inactive, right? So you now have flexibility. Maybe you don't care about the animals looking for food, just for water, right? So you have that ability to now mix and match which need you want them to have. So again, pretty cool, but nothing new except the fact that now you can switch between which needs are active. What is new though is a custom need component, and this is where I really want to show you guys today. It's really neat. One of the users in the forums asked me for it, said, "Hey, thirst and hunger is cool, but what if I wanted to add my custom need? Is it possible to do that?" And because I've been doing all of this in components, it obviously made sense to make an additional component called custom need. And you can see here is very similar to the regular needs component, but now you can specify the the class or the actor that you want the animal to approach, right? So very similar. You have whether the component is active or not. I'm going to go ahead and activate it. What's the timer? How often does it check the need? And then you have the details here. And I've added something really cool here. There are 3 different modes for this component as I was thinking how to architect it. One is single actor, which means that you are going to specify a specific actor, and that's going to be anywhere in the world, anything in the world where you want the animal to go when the need is met. Or you can have a class. You can try to select the closest actor of a class, or you can have a custom event, right? So single actor, in this case, you have the option of selecting which actor it is, and in this case I've selected this guy here. You can see this is just a generic actor component, and I've added 3 custom need components. And in this case, because I'm saying that I want this guy to only target this custom component, in the custom need I'm saying that the need mode is single actor, and I'm specifying the actor reference here. And the time to trigger the need is 20 seconds, and I'm going to go ahead and debug it so you can see. You can debug the current need countdown or the search. So if I were to click play here, you'll see that on the top left corner, you'll see that there is a countdown. It says current need 13, 12, and obviously out of 20. So when the countdown reaches down, it's going to go from roaming anywhere in the map to going to the specific location. And you can see there, right there, it stays there for 10 seconds, I believe. And then as soon as it's done, it moves on. And then you can see that the timer again in the corner starts counting down, right? 14, 13, 12. And that's basically the same thing. So you can specify any actor in your scene, and then when the need timer counts down, the animal will go there, just as it would if it got hungry, as you can see there, or thirsty. It would just look for that specific actor, right? The other one is the nearby. Oops, here, the nearby actor from class, closest actor from class. And this is very similar to the current need system, right? Where you have many different food items, right? AI food classes, or actors rather. And wherever the animal is, it'll get the closest one and it'll go to the closest one. So in this case, instead of giving you the specific actor reference, you specify the class. And this is and it says it right here, actor class, closest actor from class mode. And this class is just this guy here, and we have 3. And because we're going to select that mode, this guy's going to throw a sphere trace and select the nearest actor from these 3 and then go there. And again, you can specify any class you want. This is just an example class, which is just literally a volume, but you can specify anything. Put it up here, and then you can specify for the search how big is the trace radius, right? This is similar to how predators look for prey. It makes it a lot more efficient as opposed to trying to get all of the actors of that class in the scene, which can be massive. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and we're going to debug the same way. So you can see here that the countdown is going down, But then when it reaches to the bottom, you'll see that it now has a sphere trace, and it gets the closest actor of that class. And that actor is the little purple box here. So you can see there, it has the sphere trace, and the closest one was this guy right here, which is obviously going to be different from in the other mode. I specifically selected this guy here. And then afterwards, it just goes back to its roaming behavior, which can be anything you set. It's going to continue to roam, and then when the countdown goes down, then it's going to again shoot the trace and get the closest actor. And again, it's going to be the exact same one, but of course, if it was around here, then would come here, etc. So very efficient, and all of this calculation is going on the actor component. I specifically didn't want to put it as part of the behavior tree because I want to keep it modular again. So this operation is a little bit more expensive. You're not using EQS, for example, to get these actors, but the best way I found was just doing the trace. So if you have even a massive world, you can still specify the trace on a specific radius. That way you're not going through the expensive operation of getting everything. And you notice that there is a third mode, and that is a custom event. And in this case, you actually have to do a little bit of work. This is just executing any random code that you put attached to this custom event. So in this case, if I go back to the custom need component, you'll see that I have event needs single actor, and it's very simple, right? Event closest actor, and this is again, you know, if you open the function here, you can see that it's doing a sphere trace, multi-sphere trace, gathering everything with the same class, and then going through and filtering through and trying to get the current path length and getting the closest actor. But pretty much the same calculation as before. But if you do the custom code, which is that mode, it has this little note here. It is an event called event need custom code. It'll automatically switch the need to custom need. Then you're supposed to put your custom code here, and I even have a little marker here. And when you're done with your custom code, you need to reset the custom need by calling this event. So the way you do this is you create a child component, a child class of custom need. And in this case, I've made it custom need example here. And as you can see here, what I did is I override the event called custom code. And in this case, I made it a timer. I specified, I copied this exact code here, and I added this custom code here. Literally just follow the exact same template and then reset the custom need. And all I'm doing here is super simple, just to demonstrate, is I'm getting the player's location, and I'm going towards the player. That's all I'm doing. So if I were to add this component here, oops. Instead of a custom need, I'm going to disable custom need, disable need system. I'm going to keep companion, and then I'm going to add the custom need example. And in this case, I'm going to make sure that this is custom event. And I'm going to select your time to trigger need. Let's call it every 20 seconds. And the threshold is 10%. And the time at location, let's call it 2 seconds. Okay, and you don't need to specify anything here because we're doing the custom event. Okay, and let's go ahead and debug the timer. So now you can see that the custom need is counting down up to 20 seconds. And I'm going to go ahead and get myself here. And as soon as it counts down to 0, it'll trigger the custom event, which is now coming towards the player. And you can see that it has a little message saying going towards player, and it's just following me around. And it's not going to stop until it gets to me, right? And as soon as it gets to me, it stops for 2 seconds, and then it goes about its normal behavior, which is roaming around. And you can see now I get close, nothing happens. It's just roaming around the map. So that's just an example of how you can create not only your custom need, but you can insert literally anything you want. Any behavior that you want to insert, you can do it this way. And now you can see again, it's coming towards me. I'm gonna cross the water, which is not supposed to come through, and it's gonna go around. Cool. All right. So that is all I want to share with you guys today. Custom needs system. I'm really excited because it does give you flexibility to pretty much do whatever you want as far as a need. It does actually compete with the other needs with hunger and thirst. So say for example, you had a custom need for a character to go somewhere, specific area, and then the animal gets hungry. The hunger will override the custom need and vice versa. So it's basically treated as parity, right? It's just a need as important as thirst and hunger, and you have to match the timers correctly depending on what you want to do. But yeah, really cool. I'm really excited. Again, you have single actor mode. You can select a specific actor in the world. It can be anything, or you can specify a class, and it'll automatically select the closest one based on a trace. Or you can run literally your custom code, which is what I have here, by copying the event code into a child of the blueprint, and then adding your custom code here in between, which is, you can see here, all it's doing is moving towards the player's location on a timer. That way you have maximum flexibility. Do you want the animal to be hungry and thirsty? You can do that, or you can select only one of the needs. All right, maybe you just want them to be hungry but not thirsty. You can now select that separately, and you can add one or more custom needs. By the way, you can stack the custom need components if you really wanted to, and you can do it that way. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know if this is something that you're interested in, if there's anything else that you'd like me to add, or maybe any other mode. Right now, these are the 3 things that I thought would be really useful. Would love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.